Welcome back to Marijuana Has Ruined My Young and Promising Life. In this episode, Leslie's going to talk about being a fucking delinquent.
I wasn't a delinquent.
Delinquent?
No, I was
Yes.
actually one of like the 3 kids in the class that wasn't a fucking nuisance to the teacher.
Liar.
Like in every school, like they'll have like the normal classes, and then they'll have the one class that they try shoving all the bad kids into to make the teacher's life easier. And that was the class I was in because it was me. Because like you had like the fucking asshole kids, like the kinds that just like blatantly disrespect the teachers.
Yeah.
Like they'll get up and walk out in the middle of class and shit like that. Just annoying shit for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
So there were those kids, and then there were kids like me because I was in 6th grade at the time. So that means I was being oh no, this was freshman year. I was in freshman year high school. So, I was still, I had not had my bad bitch glow up yet, so I was a pretty quiet kid. So it was me and like 5 other quiet kids, but I was probably the most normal of the quiet kids because there was this other girl, will not name names because she has a very distinctive name.
Natanya Thatherton.
No, it is of Japanese origin.
Nathaniel Thatherton. Nathaniel Thatherton. Got it.
Well, anyway, one day the class...
Fuck!
wasn't even being like rowdy. The class was just kind of like loud-ish because we had nothing to do and it was nearing the end of the period. Well, they were kind of loud and I like heard like something weird behind me and I turn around and she's like bawling her eyes out. And I was like,
What's up, Nathaniel?
I didn't know what to do. So I was just kind of looking at her, and then I turn around to face the front of the class again, and I happen to meet eyes with the teacher, who then, like, sees, like, the hunched shape of a person behind me, and notices that she's crying. So he looks at her, and then the entire class sees him looking intently at a student, so they all look at her, and then her noticing that everyone is staring at her while she's crying makes her fucking bawl her eyes out even more.
Right.
And I was like, so then Mr. Matthew was like, hey, can you go up to the nurse's office real quick? And I was like, sure. So I go up to the nurse's office, and I'm like, hey, I guess a girl is crying really bad in my class, and I gave them the room number. So they bring a fucking wheelchair down, and they wheel her up to the fucking nurse's office, and then I find out a few days later that she had a panic attack because the class was loud.
Oh.
And I was like, why did that warrant a wheelchair?
Didn't one of the teachers at your school, like, buy a wife?
Oh, okay, so that was Mr. K. He was one of the Latin teachers. The whole story is there were 2 Latin teachers at the school. We had Mrs. K and Mr. K. They were unrelated. Mrs. K was engaged to her longtime partner. Mr. K was a married man. You may have heard Larissa talking about Mr. K and how he was a fucking creep.
Yes.
Yeah. So he was like, I don't know, he was a little too comfortable with like the girls in his Latin classes. Well, every year, the language departments, each language class would go to the country of their language origin, of their language's origin, whatever. So German would go to Germany, French, France, etc. Rome was the trip for the Latin class. So it was just called the Rome trip. Everyone in the school knew what the Rome trip was. Well, my friend at the time ended up going on that Rome trip because she had both parents living together and they had a disposable income and could afford $2,000 to send their kid on vacation. So they did that. Well, my friend gets back after a week in Rome, and she fucking spilled all the beans, sis. She was talking about how she and Miss K and like some of the other girls, because the guys were lodged with Mr. K and the girls were lodged with Miss K.
Okay.
Fuck. and she was talking about how Miss K had gotten a little drunk on limoncello and told the girls in the class that she had slept with Mr. K on the trip.
Nice.
A married man, and she was also engaged. So I was like, oh fuck, that's crazy. And then my friend was like, yeah, that's insane. Well, later come to find out, one of the kids had told, I guess, another teacher, or rumors had gotten around. Anyway, the school board found out. So Miss K, you know, she resigned, but it was definitely one of those, like, you can either choose to quit or, like, we kick you out, you know? It was one of those situations.
Yeah.
Mr. K, however, was allowed to stay for some reason. I think it's because he had seniority and they didn't want to, like, nix the Latin program. So he stayed. However, a little while after Miss K left, his wife found out and they got a divorce, and then Miss K's engagement ended. Not great. Well, anyway, so his wife found out, they got a divorce. He went on like a real, I don't know if it was like a month, it felt like a month, vacation to some like East Asian or maybe like Southeast Asian country.
Right.
Anyway, point is, he returned with a wife who was 10 years younger than him.
Nice.
Yeah. And he's still with her to this day.
Yeah, I've seen him in public with his child wife.
Yeah. She wasn't a child, she was just barely legal at the time of marrying.
Oh, I did not know that. I just say that because she's like 3 feet tall.
Yes, definitely the type of woman that white men fetishize. Yes. Absolutely. Because white guys really love their small Asian beauties. Because that's not fucking creepy. I don't understand why people are like, yeah, I want a really short woman, like abnormally short. It's like, why? Because you like children and you want something that reminds you of a child. Anyway,
there was a similar-ish incident where I went to school, kind of.
Oh, do tell.
I mean, not really, but with the teacher getting in trouble of sexual things. It was found out that a teacher had, in the past, not someone in my class, or a current class, groomed students.
No.
And he just kind of disappeared one day, and no one knew what the fuck happened to him until he, like, sent an email to all of his students letting them know what had happened. But, like, none of them would talk about it. So it didn't come out until, like, the very end of the year, or of like our high school career. It happened our sophomore year.
Yeah.
Because I was friends with one of the guys in his class. I was finally able to pressure him into fucking telling me what happened, and I spread that shit like wildfire.
I would too, absolutely.
I told anybody who would listen. I didn't even know. I had never met the teacher.
Yeah.
But I just felt like the people needed to know.
Well, what happened?
So he had tenure, but he left of his own volition after he got out.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of disappeared. No one really knows what happened to him.
Okay.
But that, how do I put this? You know, I went to a small school. So like,
this is a good start. I'm excited for this one.
Every student had a pretty close connection with their teachers.
Yeah.
Not so much after that. That kind of changed the school.
Oh no, what happened?
It's just, you know, you couldn't really feel as safe with teachers anymore. What the fuck do I need this for?
No, did he rape kids?
Yeah, he had, I mean, statutory, but, you know, fucking song remains the same. I don't know. Maybe I need to fucking...
Why would no one talk about that? Why would you defend someone like that by giving them anonymity?
I don't know. That's an excellent question, Leslie.
Why? Yeah, like, isn't that counterintuitive? Wouldn't you want people to know, like, hey, this guy fucks kids?
Yeah, I mean, like, the school didn't tell anybody, so obviously they didn't really give a shit either. I need to go back to fucking Jimmy Jam Doc.
Um, I should not be allowed to keep secrets like that, because if ever I found out that even someone in like my social circle that I was friends with, if ever I found out that they had like committed like a heinous crime
Permitted.
against anyone, not even like a minor, like against like an adult or like a past partner, I am cutting ties with that person and I am telling everyone what that person did.
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe that people should be defended with anonymity. I think that they should be shamed and have their life ruined.
I don't give a shit who you are, especially if I find... Oh, no, get away from that. If I find out that you're a kid diddler, I will tell anyone who will fucking listen.
Absolutely.
Everyone's gonna know.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, people like that, they don't deserve to be protected by...
No.
Like, having people, like, censor their names. I don't get that. I don't understand how, like, when someone commits such an awful act, people are like, oh, well, don't say their name. Why?
Yeah,
Why? You want to defend them? Why would you want to defend them? They caused, like, years and years of trauma. Like, I feel like that word, by the way, trauma, is so, like, thrown around loosey-goosey nowadays that people don't understand what it really means to be traumatized.
Yeah, it's like that one trend on fucking Ting Tong, the fucking something traumatic happened
porn.
that changed my life. Check. Like, if something that was really that traumatic happened to you, you would not be openly talking about it like that.
Yeah, like, there's being bothered by things.
Yeah.
There's being even, like, having lasting effects from things. But trauma is not just a word. Trauma is something that affects you physically and mentally. It's something that, like, is genuinely hard to live with. Trauma is not just like, oh, someone said this thing about me and it upset me and I think about it a lot. Trauma is like, I'm unable to regulate my emotions when this topic comes up, you know?
Right. Like, there's things that I think about a lot and make me uncomfortable. And then there are things that every time I close my eyes, first thing when I wake up in the morning, last thing before I go to bed at night, it's what comes to mind. Every time I look in the mirror, it's always with me.
Yeah, exactly. Trauma is not like something cute you can throw around and be like, yeah, I'm traumatized. Like, I think you saw a tag on TikTok or Instagram and you like looked up a list of things and you were like, wow, I made 3 out of the 12 criteria for having trauma. I'm totally traumatized, guys. And like everyone at some point in their life is going to have something traumatizing happen.
Yeah.
Because trauma isn't even like trauma doesn't have to be something that like happened to you. Trauma can be like seeing someone get hit by a car,
Right.
you know? Like someone close to you dying is traumatizing. It's going to happen to you at some point, maybe not to the degree of some people, but it will happen to you, and you're gonna feel like a fucking idiot when it does. And you're like, oh, I was so traumatized. No, you weren't. You had like a bad day. Like, I will absolutely gatekeep the word trauma. Because I'm tired of fucking 13-year-olds being like, yeah, this traumatized me when my mommy yelled at me because she didn't want to get me a new phone. It's like, shut the fuck up. You suck. I hate you.
That's pretty common with, like, everything like that nowadays, though. Like, depression, anxiety, PTSD.
Yeah.
People just throw it around because they think it makes them interesting.
Yeah, they think it's a cute little tactic. Like, okay. Super not... really super isn't. I don't know why people think that's like a fun thing now. PTSD is like not fun to deal with. I know from experience.
I think
it's not a fun thing.
That like originates, I would say, from Tumblr, when back in like 2012 it was cool to be depressed.
Oh god, yeah, it was cool to have social anxiety.
Yeah, and now it's kind of gravitated more towards like PTSD and bipolar disorder, you know?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I really fucking don't, but
Yeah, they're
whatever's
not cute
cool.
things. Yeah. It's just, it, like, pisses me off to no end.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fun to live with those things. Like,
No.
people think depression is really cute until you are showering once every 2 weeks. You can't brush your teeth because it's too much effort. You're not eating, or you're eating too much. Like, you're scared to leave the house. Like, your hair mats down because you can't take care of yourself. Depression isn't just like, I'm sad today. It's, I am unable to take care of myself currently.
Right.
You know? Like, and also people saying, like, not really knowing what being suicidal really feels like. Because, like, I think people don't understand that, like, being suicidal isn't just saying, I want to kill myself. It is fighting a compulsion to do so.
Right.
Like, with every fiber of your being telling you to do something, and, like, one thought trying to fight against your whole fucking mind and body. It's, like, it's not a cute thing. It's not a fad. It's not, like, a tag you see on Tumblr and you think you're gonna tag your bad day with it because someone said something mean to you at work, or you didn't get a lot of tips today. It's just fucking... It pisses me off. People piss me off. I don't like people anymore. I don't think I ever did.
No. Man, Mario 64 has been fucking heavy tonight.
Yeah, I think it's because it's late and I'm tired from working and my feet hurt.
9/11's
So I'm like,
coming
it's
up.
time-
You want to talk about that?
Funny you mentioned that.
Oh.
Popcorn Fest is on 9/11.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's great planning right there.
Yeah, my brother was like, yeah, popcorn. Okay, so for people who don't know, in my area, I guess, okay, so in my town specifically, we have what is it, like a bronze statue of Orville Redenbacher, because his popcorn factory, it's not too far from here, is it?
I have no idea.
Well, Orville Redenbacher, like the popcorn man, started his business in my city. So every year we have a parade, and like a little festival with local vendors and shit. And it's called Popcorn Fest. And this year it is scheduled on September 11th.
If I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I didn't even know that was Orville Redenbacher until like a year ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I love that.
Just,
Yeah, it's Orville. Good old Orville.
I don't know. I never really put two and two together.
Yeah.
Isn't there like a plaque on him too that says Orville Redenbacher? Or
Yeah.
on the bench?
Yeah.
Did this
Definitely
someone like
says it around there.
graffiti him once?
If they did, I didn't hear about it.
I don't know. I feel like I remember hearing about that, but I'm not sure. I do know when I was in high school, some guys climbed the fucking water tower in the center of town one day, or one night rather, and spray painted a giant dick on it. That like
I love that.
all across town you could see, which isn't saying much because where I lived when I was
like
in high
15
school
feet across.
was technically a village, not a town.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
And it was up
An apartment
there
complex with cornfields.
for like a month because the city just didn't feel like fixing it.
Something happened, something like that happened to my middle school's track. Someone had taken black spray paint and just like all along the entire fucking length of it, spray painted huge dicks on the entire track.
Very nice.
So the school, the way they fixed it at first was they had a janitor go out there with black paint and just paint over in big rectangles, like where the dicks were. So you still were fully able to see where they were and how big they were, because like sometimes they would miss like the tip of the dick or like part of the balls, so you would see like black square and then like one curved spray paint line, you know,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
all
shit.
over.
Fuck.
And it
Piss.
was like a while until they like repainted the track. That was a good time.
Did they ever find out who did it?
No, but rumors circulated about who it was.
When I was in high school,
No.
someone went to the track overnight
Yeah.
and like fucking threw like just garbage around and fucking flipped a bench over, like nothing crazy. But they
Oh
got
no, that's
they
pretty crazy.
they got caught, right?
Okay.
Because like, you know, village, the cops
Okay.
were about with nothing better to do.
Yeah, as
so
cops are wont to be.
they got caught and arrested, and I think one of them actually ended up serving some time for it.
Really?
Yeah,
Why? That's so dumb.
because the cops had literally nothing else to do, and
They're
they
like,
were
we
just
have one prisoner, it's go time.
yeah, they were desperate to finally get to arrest someone for once in their careers. Dude, there was
Yeah.
one lady cop who every time I came fucking driving into town, coming back from school, because I had afternoon classes in your town,
Yeah.
she would fucking pull me over
It's because you're brown.
every day to the point where we knew each other by name, and she'd stop me to tell me that I have to turn my music down, even in the winter when my windows are rolled up and you cannot hear my music playing. She pulled me over once I wasn't even playing music and
Did
told
you
me
say that?
yeah, and she just like kind of gave me a look and told me to keep it down.
God, I hate women.
Yeah.
Why do, you know, sometimes, every now and then, women, they piss me off.
Dude, if that ain't me, every now and then I get a little bit.
That is so, that like pisses me off.
Shit.
That was absolutely a racist thing, by the way.
What do you mean?
The whole like pulling you over to have you turn down your music.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Stop being a sarcastic piece of shit.
No,
You know it was.
because like I don't think she knew, and like I can pass for a white.
I mean, yeah, you can pass for a white.
Actually,
but
I take that
doesn't mean
back,
you
'cause
look
most people-
entirely white.
Most people don't think I'm white. Most people think I'm Mexican.
Yeah, you do. You do look a little Mexican.
I am
Just a little
Spanish,
bit.
but not Mexican. I'm European Spanish. That's why I have a carpet on my chest.
I am 0.1% Jewish.
You're Congolese.
I
Full
am.
blood.
I am more African than I am Jewish.
That's the facts.
Yeah, I guess the specific kind of Jew that is in my bloodline is like before fuck, it's like the 200s to 500s. They were in the France area, but then they moved over to Slavland. That's the kind of Jew that I am.
That's fucking.
Which makes sense because I fetishize Russians.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely I do.
Why?
Okay, like Slavs in general, but like Russians. You know, effects of the Cold War that were not foreseen.
I suppose. Where's the fucking manatee? Next time on Mario 64, we're gonna find the manatee.
Next time on Mario 64, we're gonna talk about exactly what I want in a man and why it's almost exclusively a Russian accent.
Fuck yeah.